Welcome back to another episode. Three Pillars of Man.
Three Pills of Man.
Addison Corbin.
Alex James.
Man, got a lot going on lately.
I feel it, man. So I like this. I would like to start a new segment.
Talk to me.
I like to call it Peaks and Pits.
Peaks and pits.
You know how we normally, debrief by our week and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So what I would like to do is before we get into the main topic of the episode, we just talk about what were our peaks, which were our highs for the week, what were some of our pits
I can do
this
that.
week. So for you, my brother, for this week, what were your peak? What was your peak for this week? And what was your pit for this week?
Does it matter if it's personal or business?
Not at all.
Just okay.
Just whatever. It could be work, business,
Yeah.
whatever.
All right. Well, I can do that. Business is really good right now.
Yeah.
The guys have kind of picked up, confidence is up.
Yeah.
Morale is up, so been noticing on that. So that's been a real positive win. We got coaching in this week twice, so that was good.
Nice.
Coached on ego,
Nice.
which is really good.
Is that like you just kind of round up the guys and you just kind of talk about
Yeah, we do like a Monday morning meeting, which is kind of just our normal like debrief of
Yep.
where we're at.
Yep.
And then we do like more of like a coaching segment on Fridays. So Friday morning after we do our one-on-ones,
I like it.
we catch up. Izzy. We catch up on all the stuff.
Yeah.
And we just kind of usually it's something that I'm focusing on
Mm-hmm.
because then I always feel like if I can teach it, then I'm understanding
Right.
the process that I'm going through.
Yep.
Lately, it's been a little bit more personal development type
For sure.
stuff.
For sure.
So I think that's been beneficial for the guys.
Yeah.
But as far as my low, my ego has been getting in the way.
Which what you teach about. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Personally kind of created my ego and my pride has created what's it called? Turmoil
Yeah, you go.
in my personal life.
Mhm.
So just trying to work through some of that
Yeah.
and started journaling again
I love it.
on the daily, not just
Yeah.
not just my my 5-year journal or whatever. Like I haven't been just doing like my personal thoughts, not just like a
Kind of like
prompted
daily
thing.
meditations
Yeah.
type of deal.
Yeah, exactly. So like
Yeah.
more of like the daily meditation piece and something that I thought was applicable to what we're doing was in my eyes is journaling is just kind of putting down some thoughts, right?
Right.
And I know we kind of have something set up for this one,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
something I wrote down was ego comes in many different ways.
Mhm.
It's not enough to know you've got to suppress it. You've got to be able to identify it, understand it,
Mhm.
and move past it. The I'm right moment isn't always true,
Ooh.
right?
Ooh.
And then a little bit later on the day, it was like just kind of chewing on it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It was ego versus ego. Ego versus ego won't work.
Mm.
Suppress your ego plus support the other person's ego will move you closer to the solving of the problem.
Mm.
So if you're rowing a boat one way, I'm rowing the boat the other way.
Yeah.
And we're just fighting.
Mm-hmm.
If I can simply say, okay, well then I'm just gonna row my side your way.
Yeah.
Then we're heading in this direction.
Right. We're both
And
in
then
the same direction. Yeah.
you're gonna be less likely to feel like you've got to prove something to me.
Right.
Right. And then once we are on the same ground,
Yep.
then I can be like, man, shouldn't we be going towards land right
Yeah.
now? Or should we be going to like the fishing spot or whatever?
Yep.
And you're like, yeah, maybe we should be. and then I can ask questions like where is land at?
Right.
And then you're like, oh, it's over there.
Right.
And then we can actually start focusing on that direction.
Right. So you're essentially saying I have, in this situation
Mhm.
here, in order for us to make progress, even though it might affect me and I might feel some type of way about dropping my ego, but for the sake of progress,
Mhm.
I'm going to drop my ego because I'm assessing him and myself. And I realize that I have more of a handle on my ego than he does.
Yeah.
But for the sake of us progressing and going forward, I will just go ahead and drop my ego and see if that helps us get to our destination.
Because ultimately, it's going to get us where I'm trying to get us to go.
Right, right, right.
And it's just it's a way around it. But the idea behind it was that analogy just kind of like made sense. And then I wanted it to go a little bit further and like what are my pattern recognitions? Like,
Oh man, this is good.
because I'm having such a hard time with it.
Yeah.
And I'm just going through all of it and I'm just like, oh, well, that didn't turn out like I wanted it to,
Mm-hmm.
or that conversation didn't go the way that I wanted it to.
Mm-hmm.
But why?
Yeah.
Like, and it's always been that way.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's not about a win or a loss. It's just like that I didn't handle that the way that I expected it to.
Right.
Right. And so I was able to kind of put down some like pattern recognitions of like, I'm right, they're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever, that thing that pops up in your head where it's like, they're not going to understand.
Right.
So what's the point?
Kind of like almost like
It's an excuse.
I'm an excuse, a cop out. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Um, I'm the only one that can do this.
Mm.
Um, and then the finger pointing, it's their fault that this happened.
Yep.
And then the biggest one that I've noticed that my go-to is like, oh, you're just being emotional.
Yeah.
Right. But that's my excuse to get out of it.
Right.
You just being
For you not to do the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking about it and I'm like, man, personal relationships, bro. It's like you signing up for this.
Yeah.
You're signing up for this whole gambit.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So
Mm-hmm.
if I just use the excuse of, well, it's just not my personality, then it
Right.
gives me an excuse to get out of the work to become that person.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny how that transitions to what we're going to talk about today. But before we get to that, I like that you said that because um, just accepting things for what it is or accepting like, oh, this is who I am. Like I don't need no additional work that needs to be done. You know, take it or leave it, right?
Hmm.
I like that you said, sometimes we have to kill our ego for the sake of us moving forward because I think what tends to happen, like you gave the analogy of this person's rowing this way, I'm rowing that way. Sometimes if we sit there and think like, well, they're wrong, I'm right, I can do this by myself, I know where I'm going anyway. Little do you know, both of y'all are not even going to land. You're going further more into the ocean this way, and he's going further more into the ocean that way.
Hmm.
And so it's just funny how sometimes when you do just say, you know what, even though it's gonna hurt my ego, hurt my pride to do this, I'm gonna drop it because we have a goal we have to achieve.
Yeah.
So, but I like the fact that you said I use these excuses so I don't have to do the necessary work, which leads us into the title of this segment called The Road to Heaven Feels Like Hell,
Hmm.
and The Road to Hell Feels Like Heaven. And to start off this segment, I'm
Well,
going,
pause.
okay, pause.
You didn't tell me your ups and downs.
Oh man, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Uh, I got too excited about this new
Hmm.
segment we're about to get into. But yeah, my pits. I'm gonna start with my peak for this week. Similar to you, work is. I feel like we're starting to like, even though it's a little bit of growing pains, but I feel like people are starting to understand really just my role into like what we're trying to build here because I did feel like for a brief moment of time actually where I will ask myself a question. I'm like, so what do I do here? Like if someone
Mhm.
asked me what I did, like, can I really explain it? And honest, and the answer at the time was I would have to just make up like some elevator pitch or something to
Yeah.
make it sound more like make it sound like what I'm doing is important, you know. And so and I think and also another thing kind of that led to this thought that I had was my manager. We had a one-on-one and he was like, hey, I'm going to do a little bit of reorganization. I'm going to have you report to this guy who's he's a project controls manager. And so that's kind of what I do. Like we're more into like the making sure like projects are on budget, on schedule. And that's kind of the high level of what I do. We brought in this manager who's a project controls manager, but he was helping out with another portfolio.
Mhm.
So what my boss, who I was reporting to, was like, well, doesn't make sense for y'all to be operating in two like separate entities. I'm going to reorganize y'all where y'all can work under one entity. And I think also he saw that we work well together. Like, you know, I present ideas, he presents his ideas, and we just kind of bounce off each other with ideas. And so when he came to me, he was like, "Hey, I'm going to reorganize a little bit. I'm gonna have you report to the project controls manager going forward. I think y'all work well together from what I've seen. And also, I'm going to change the name of your position because my the title of my position I'm in is a project controls principal. And so like when you see like when and this is the ego part of me, right?
Mhm.
Like principal is like the like you're the team lead, like you're the um I'm not saying like the smartest person, but like there's a certain like
In
it's
the
like
hierarchy.
it's a hierarchy, right? So I think for me, like I had to really think about like when he said we was going to change the name of my position. Uh, I got a little like what the why like what the hell
Mhm.
like what does this mean, you know? And again, that was more of my ego because I had got so attached to the name, like, oh yeah, I'm a principal, you know, yeah,
Mhm.
I've worked hard to get to this, and now you're just gonna take this away from me. Like that's how I initially felt.
Yeah.
And as he continued to explain, he was like, well, look, um, one, we're gonna switch your name. We're gonna switch your name. We're gonna put you more at like a like project control specialist 3. And he was like, the reason why I'm doing this is because one, it's going to give you more room to grow because right now where you're at, the next, you don't really have like a next level.
Yeah.
You're kind of like, you kind of hit that obstacle, that one. Yeah, you kind of hit that ceiling, not
Mhm.
obstacle, hit that ceiling. So we're going to, we're going to change your name, put you at a project control specialist 3 or 2. I haven't, figured it out, but we're going to give you a little bit more runway to get to the principal. And then 2, he was like, you're not even at a, honestly, you're not even at a pay grade of a principal. You're more at a pay grade of like a project control specialist 2 or 3. So once once I work out everything and I can get you to that principal, then that comes with more money essentially.
Yeah.
But he was like, but as of right now, it's not going to affect your pay or anything. We're just going to change who you report to, and we're going to change your title of your position so you can have a little bit more runway to grow. He's like, but I wanted to talk to you and make sure because I know sometimes when you change a person's position, they can get all bent out of shape. And when he asked me that, I was like for like a quick 5 seconds, I was sitting there thinking like. Should I give him like a very like blanket professional answer, or should I tell him like this is how I feel? And so I just told him how I felt. And I was like, normally uh if you would have told me this, because I've had this conversation before
Yeah.
at my last job and it went left and I ended up not being able to progress and I kind of got stuck. So I told him that I was like, just out of my last job, when this whole reorganization happened, I was in like a no man's land.
Right.
So, initially when he told me that, uh, I just I guess those triggered feelings of, wow, I'm back to where I started.
Yeah.
Like I was trying to get out of it with my last job. Now I'm in a new job. I'm about to be in the same position in this no man's land. Um, and so once I told him that, he's like, look, I totally understand. That's why I wanted to talk to you. But trust me, like we just you're doing great things. We appreciate everything you're doing for us. We just want to make sure we give you the lane to grow in because your predecessor, he was at this position for 15 years and he never grew in it. And I don't want you to be in that position. So if I have to reorganize a little bit, we're not gonna mess your pay up. Like he was clear on that. Right, you're good there. But I need to give you more of a runway here so you can grow within our department instead of you sitting in that position for 15 some years and you're at the same pay grade too.
Yeah.
So, once he broke it down like that, I was like, you know what? Let me kill my ego because I felt like if I would have went with my ego response, um, it still would have happened, but I wouldn't be so willing to uh work well in this new position. Right, because I would be feeling some type of way.
Right.
So that was so when he had that conversation with me, I was like, okay, so after we had that conversation, I had to really reflect and really think like, you know what? I'm gonna trust that, he's what he's saying is solid and I'm just gonna continue to work how I've been working. And I think because of that, and because now I'm working more with the manager, with the project controls manager, and I'm just giving them ideas after ideas and after ideas, I feel like in a way, it's like rejuvenated, like the purpose of why I'm there.
Right.
And so I would say that was the peak of this week because it could have been a pit, but because I killed my ego and changed my mindset, and I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna let this affect how I work because I do have a standard for myself. I'm like, I work hard, I do what I need to do. If I need to stay late, I'll stay late, whatever. So I'm not gonna let it affect the bottom line because that's what happened with my last job where um my former manager would told me something like that. I didn't see nothing happen. I just stopped caring. And so I got missed deadlines, got sloppy with work. And so I don't want to be in that space again.
Yeah.
And so that's why it was a peak for me this week is because now it's like, okay, I see myself in this picture again. Um, so that was my peak. My pit was more physical. So I was in the gym and it was back day. And normally with back day, I start with deadlifts. So, going through deadlift, boom, boom, boom. And so I get to, I was doing 495. Now, mind you, I haven't done dead before I had did this. I haven't done deadlift in probably like couple, say 2 months. So I'm thinking, because I've done 495 before. So I'm like, I'm about to just do it again, 495. Even though I hadn't done it in a while, I'm gonna do it. So 495, get to it, start lifting it. Got halfway, I just felt like in my lower back, and immediately I dropped it. And so like I stood up real quick because I didn't want to get locked in that position. So I stood up and I was like, okay, cool, okay. I don't feel pain or anything. I'm cool. So then as I continue to I was like, okay, I'm just not gonna do deadlift. I'm gonna do something else. As I go to another exercise, like this, like I just feel it, like the pains is getting worse and worse and worse. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna shower and get to work. So stopped working out, shower, got to work. hopped in a meeting. I was on call, sitting at my desk, and I had dropped my phone. So literally, I stand up, and when I tell you, like my back just like locked up, like I'm talking about, like it was like somebody just like grabbed my spine. It was like, oh nope,
Yeah,
yup, yup, you're not going nowhere. Literally, bro. Mind you, I'm still on the call, and I have to talk in this meeting. So I stand up to get my phone, and I just feel this pain, and I'm just like, oh, and I dropped on the knee. Bro, I dropped on the knee. I'm like this, bro. I'm literally like this. I'm like in a sweat. Like I'm sweating. I'm like, oh my God. And I'm trying, and I got to talk in a meeting, bro. So I'm like, I'm trying to like be like real cool, like not trying to not trying to make any noises. So I'm like, oh. And so someone's like, Alex, so what do you think about the action item? I'm like, yeah, I heard what you said. I'll make sure I account for it, blah, blah, blah. So like I'm like trying to count down, like, bro, all right, this meeting needs to end so I can figure this out. So luckily the meeting ends early. Hang up, and I'm literally like this, waiting for like the back spasm to like calm down. So it calms down. And so literally I have to like, I'm literally like stand up, slow motion. And then I finally got up. I'm like, okay, cool. And so then when I got up, it locks again. So I'm like, bro, when I tell you I could not move, bro, I was, I was like, oh, God. And so the spasm stopped. So now I'm just walking around in a circle in my cube, walking in a circle, doing this. Like I'm literally just doing this so I can just keep my back active. Locks again. And so I'm like, and it got so bad I had to get back on the knee, and then I ended up laying on the floor. And so I laid on the floor, just there for a little minute, right? And so then like one of my team members walks walks over and sees me on the floor, and she's like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" Da, da. I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." I'm like, don't like, don't make a big deal out of it. Yeah. Like, so she was like, "Oh my God, you okay? You good?" I'm like, "Yeah, I strained my back. I'm good. I just gotta lay here for a minute." She's like, I have some like Advil or something that you can take?" I'm like, "Yes, please." So, long story short, she gave me the Advil, and I was able to make it out throughout the day. And then like that was Monday. So now like my back is good, and I'm back to going to the gym, but I was doing like today, did bench. I didn't realize how much your back plays a role in benching. So normally I can do 285, knock it out for a good, 8 to 10. Bro, I can only get it for like 3 or 4. And so I'm sitting there. Now I gotta like start all over. Yeah. So that was my pick. Physically, like I let my ego play a role in just, when I did the deadlift, thinking, I've done 495 before, even though I hadn't did it in a while, I'm gonna do it, and you know, mess my back up. I'm gonna get you. So now I'm in this whole like rehabbing my back. I'm not really, I told myself I'm gonna stay off deadlift for, the next couple of months here, really just focus on like strengthening my core, because that's another part of it too. Like I wasn't really doing things to strengthen my core. So yeah, man, it just really, I feel like, I don't know, God plays these funny tricks on you sometimes, man. I feel like he did that to like say like, one, hey, you're not He-Man anymore. You're not 20.
Welcome to 30.
Right, bro. Like, bro, you're not, 20s, in your 20s, where you can not do something for a couple months and get back to it.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, if you don't consistently do this at least every week or every couple weeks, you that strength goes away. Yeah. So it was just a big reset for me physically. And now I'm just in that phase now where I'm like, okay, I just gotta build my body back up. I gotta now I'm 15 minutes on 15-minute warm up where I'm like really making sure I sweat, make sure I got a full stretch routine now
Mm-hmm.
before I even touch a weight. So yeah, man, it's funny how you get
You need to go see my chiropractor, bro.
I think that's the other thing too. Like when I strained my back and I finally was like my back was finally calming down, I was like, okay, I gotta really start investing in like chiropractor and
Well,
all that
he'll
stuff.
set you up. He'll get you corrected,
Yeah.
but he's not going to be like, "Hey, come back and see me next week." He's not that kind of guy.
Right, 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 right,
He's
right.
like, "I'm gonna get you fixed. I'm gonna
Right.
tell you how you can stay away from this problem,
Yeah.
and he'll give
Yeah.
you some exercises to kind of do,
Yeah.
and then you're good until you mess it up again."
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, man, it's a reset for for work
Mm-hmm.
and it was a reset for for my body. So yeah, guys, sorry that took so long, but that was my peaks and pick for this week.
I like it.
And now we can transition to this segment that we titled The Road to Heaven Feels Like Hell, and The Road to Hell Feels Like Heaven.
Yeah.
And so I have this 9 minutes, 9 minute clip. I'm gonna play it because I think it's great that how he explains it. And then I know that's longer than we normally do it, but I feel strongly about this clip. I'm gonna play it. We're gonna listen to it, and then we're gonna give our thoughts.
I like it.
The road to heaven feels like hell. The road to hell feels like heaven. I'm sure if you're someone watching this right now and you've been through addiction or you have found yourself overly pleasure seeking with whatever gives you instantaneous pleasure, that in the moment when you find a new drug or a new obsession, something that gives you instantaneous pleasure, it feels like heaven. It feels like you found the thing you're always searching for. It feels like you're finally complete. And if you're watching this video right now, I would assume that you came to the conclusion that it was a lie. It wasn't true. It was a facade. Because I'll be the first to say anything that gives you instantaneous pleasure or you have to do no work to get the reward is a lie. Because things are set up that way. People know how the human brain works. That's why drugs were created. That's why alcohol was created. Anything that gives you an instantaneous pleasure response that just makes your dopamine receptors just boom. They know how to do this stuff. But in my own personal life, anything that gives me an instant pleasure response is unraveling myself. It's unraveling everything that I've built up for myself because anything worthwhile and anything beneficial for your life takes a while to wind up and actually get rolling for yourself. It takes immense work to become distant from constant pleasure and constant, like, building yourself into someone that you're proud of takes so much effort, takes so much mental capacity. It takes so much of doing things when you don't want to do them and doing things no matter how hard it is because you said you were going to do them and the whole thing. You're writing your schedule every single day. Like, that's one thing I do for myself. I write my schedule every single night before I go to sleep. It's the same schedule. I just write it again because I'm trying to train my brain that that's my schedule and that's exactly what I do to fulfill my day. And I check all of them off when I go through them. It starts with simple things like wake up, check, got that one. Run, check, got that one. Sit down, whatever. I'll go through my schedule in a different video. But you get my point. To train yourself to become a person that you're proud of, to become a person that eventually other people will be able to rely on. Eventually, other people will be able to look at you for guidance, for whatever you're trying to be in life. To build yourself into that person, it takes so much effort. It takes so much building the resistance band, and it takes so much time and so much effort. And with a snap of a finger, with one instantaneous pleasure response, you can end the whole thing. You can snap the rubber band and you reset to zero. That's the thing. That's the caveat to that. Because that one instantaneous pleasure response, it feels like heaven. It feels like you just got the missing piece you were always searching for. Whereas the person that you are right now, or you are trying to become, is only that person from the habits, the discipline, and the self-image restructuring. So it's kind of something I'm pondering on today, because I see so many people just thinking that life is about searching for the next pleasure. Just their mind is off and they're looking for something to just give them pleasure. It's just like pleasure seeking over everything. If it doesn't involve pleasure, they're not doing it. And it's like, no wonder your life fucking unravels. It's no wonder your life looks like shit. It's no wonder you're living in hell, because you fell for the trap. You fell for the trap of thinking that every single pleasure that was laid out for you, like you can go outside and look at thousands of different pleasure responses from everywhere. It's all the advertising that's just like, here, come and get this. Come and get. Consumerism is the pleasure response. That's why consumerism exists, is because they understand the human brain wants to search for comfort. It wants to search for that fix to give your brain that missing piece. But if you're watching this video, you probably either came to the conclusion or you're coming to the conclusion that it's not true. And you're wondering what the fix is. The fix in my own life is understanding that anything that gives you instantaneous pleasure, you have to think about it. Every time you feel pleasure from something, think about it. Be like, wait a minute, did I work for this? Did I work for this? Did I do the sufficient work required to get this dopamine response? If the answer is no, you got to cut that out of your life. And I just did that again with vaping and cigarettes. I quit that so long ago, and that's when I was making the most consistent videos, and I was the most consistent with my own schedule in my life, whatever, and I was doing the best. I felt the best. Even though it was some of the hardest points of my life, I was doing the best. And that's exactly where I am today. Let's see, I don't know, day 5 or 6 of no cigarettes or anything. And I've quit and started that so many fucking times. And even nicotine, it's going to be a hard realization, but like even nicotine for myself and a lot of other people, it will unravel you. Any addiction that you have to something that gives you instantaneous pleasure, it will unravel you. At least for myself, and kind of how my human brain is set up, but myself specifically, I'm the type of person where I'm in or I'm out of something. I'm either in an addiction, and that addiction is stealing my entire life away, and I'm forfeiting everything for this addiction, or on the complete 180, I'm doing the best I ever have for myself, and I'm on the up and up exponentially. So I understand that about myself. So I thought nicotine, might have been an exception to the rule, but it doesn't exist. There's no exception to the rule in this regard. There's no exception to the rule of anything that gives you instantaneous pleasure will unravel you completely. Because just like the title, and it was literally just a quote that I saw today that inspired me to make this video, but it was that quote. It was, the road to heaven feels like hell, and the road to hell feels like heaven. You'll look around, everyone who dives into their personal heaven, their drug of choice, their it always revolves around consuming. I don't see anyone who is creating as their addiction or creating, because creating something takes effort, it takes mental usage, it takes a certain level of discipline to create something and put your focus into creating. I've never seen someone who was creating as their addiction, as their drug of choice, and have this problem. Consuming. Look at all of your actions, write down all of your actions and your habits through the day, and how many of them are consuming. You'll realize that sometimes all the people around you, and yourself included, every single habit that you have and every single action that you partake in through the day is literally pleasure seeking. That's it. It's just pleasure seeking. If it doesn't involve pleasure, you're not doing it. And life doesn't operate that way. Not all of life is pleasure. It doesn't mean that experience is good or bad, but not every experience in life is pleasurable. Because that's not the point of life. The point of life is to understand that delayed gratification exists, and to do something monumental takes building a resistance span of things that you don't want to do in the current moment. So anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. Follow me on Instagram.
So, my brother Addison, based off that clip, what resonates with you the most?
I've been down the road of like very similar to him in the idea of like not paying attention,
Right.
just doing.
Yep.
And then you look up a month and you're like, why do I do this? Well, why does this happen? Or why does this happen? Or why am I doing this for this reason?
Right.
And then you kind of lose track of that, right? Because you get in that mode of like, I'm waking up, I'm doing things I'm supposed to be doing, but you're missing the other parts, right? Like right now, just from that video and what I've been thinking about over the past week is Amazon. Wow. I get fucking packages. And I don't realize that I'm just I could use this. I could use this, this thing
Right.
or I could whatever. And on top of that, one of the things that one of the programs I had, like they pay us in Amazon cards, like just for like our reviews or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I got $25. Let me just hop on Amazon real quick.
Yeah, just get something.
Yeah. But it's never $25.
Right.
I never spend this thing on
enough. Right.
And so what I've noticed is like that's one of those things that is like it's an instant, right? Because I can order it and I can have it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Order it, have it tomorrow. Order it, have it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that's been one of my things where I've been dialed in for the most part, but there are those moments where you're not paying attention. You're like, oh, well, I'm spending money, right? Like I'm on Amazon at least twice a day.
Yeah.
Right. Or whatever that vice is, but just because it's not immediately harmful, but I mean you spend enough money, you're gonna go broke.
Yeah.
And you gotta be cognizant of those things that you feel like you're doing everything you need to be doing.
Yeah.
And you are knocking off these things, but what are those things that you're not?
Right.
Where are you slipping? So that would be the biggest thing. Now, the idea that what's the other saying? The road to heaven is paved in
what?
Road to hell is paved in something.
What are you talking about? What?
No, there's another saying.
I'm trying. I know where you're going. I'm trying to
It's
think.
the road to heaven is paved in.
Let's give the gist of it.
Yeah. I don't know. Either way, ideally,
yeah,
I understand what he's saying in the idea of that it's a lot easier to do these other things.
Right.
But that's where discipline, that's where consistency comes into play. Remember how we were doing the 100 push-ups a day?
Yep.
Guess how many people are left? Me and one other person. I had a team of 7. 3 never started. 1 did start, missed 1 day, and completely stopped. He missed 1 day. He was like, I'm done.
I'm done. Yeah, this is bullshit. Yeah.
Missed 1 day.
Yeah.
But that's the normal mindset,
Right.
right?
Right.
The hard mindset is like, I missed a day. I'm coming back tomorrow.
And I might do 200.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the makeup is a whole other idea, right?
Mhm.
I'm like, oh shit, I'm down 1 day. I got to make up 200.
Right.
That's a whole other mindset.
Yeah.
But just to be able to get back up and say,
I missed 1 day.
I missed 1 day. Let me get
Yeah.
back. I'm not going to let that ruin my
Right.
my 60-day streak.
Right.
Bro, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I missed 1 day.
Mhm.
I missed 1 day. It was like on a Saturday. I was out until
Yeah.
11:59, 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I even said, oh man, I need to hit my push-ups right before I went to bed.
Mhm.
And I got caught
Yeah.
up and
I get it.
completely forgot.
Yep.
And by the time that everything was squared away, I ended up falling asleep.
Yeah.
And I was pissed off. But the next day I woke up, I hit my 100 push-ups, and I was right back on.
Right.
They missed it the exact same day.
That's funny.
The exact same day they missed it because we had the company event.
Yep.
Um,
And some two
One of
came
my-
back,
uh-huh.
and the rest, yeah.
One of them fell off completely.
Yep.
The other one fell off a couple days.
Yep.
Came back, hit 75,
Yep.
and was having a hard time.
Yep.
And then hopefully he'll hit him today. But it created an inconsistency where there was consistency,
Right.
which creates space.
Right.
If there's space for anything to fill in there,
Yeah.
you're gonna fill it in with other things.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the idea of like discipline and consistency, that's why they're hand in hand.
Yeah.
Right? Because me going to the gym,
Mhm.
I went to the gym since I was 16, 17, every single day. Dude, I did not miss a day.
Mhm.
And then it kind of got a little bit more lenient where I could like, all right, so on Sundays I don't need to train, Thursdays I don't need to train.
Yep.
And then it got to the point where, I was like, nah, I don't need rest days, bro. David
Yeah.
Goggins, right?
Yeah.
And then boom, went straight back to 100%.
Yeah.
And then my body started getting beat up.
Mhm.
And then that's when I dialed it back in. I was like, all right, maybe Saturday and Sunday. If I hit it on Saturday, cool. If I miss it on Sunday, that's cool.
Yeah.
Right. But Sunday's gonna be the day that I don't really care.
Yeah.
And then over this past year, bro, you couldn't find me in the gym. Which is crazy.
Yeah, man.
Because I was like, that's not me. That's not like me.
Yeah.
And then I would go like 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Like there was a solid 2 weeks there. I didn't train.
Yeah.
I just didn't. And I was like, the hell is going on? But it's that one, the lack in consistency,
Mhm.
which I've never experienced.
Mhm.
The discipline, because at the back end of that, I was like, nah, dude, I could go home. I'm working till 7, get home at 8. I can still train.
Yeah.
But then I don't. Bro, I have a gym in my garage. I have a whole weight set in my garage, and I was skipping it. Bro, I was skipping it. Waking up and just getting ready for work.
Just looked at it and said,
Yeah.
all right, gotta go.
Like crazy shit, right? Back on my game, but like, and a little bit was like the messing up my knee in jujitsu, and I just kind of got disheartened. I was like, man, I can't train, like da 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 da.
Mhm.
So just all of that played a piece in it, but they're all excuses,
Yeah.
right? I have a gym in my garage, bro. I have a full weight set in my garage.
Yeah.
Dumbbells, squat rack,
Yeah.
everything I could possibly need.
Yeah. At least all the essentials.
All the essentials.
Yeah.
And your boy was like, nah.
I gotta go to work now.
And
Right?
there was never a day that I ever missed the gym.
Yeah.
And I would skip things.
Mhm.
Like, nah, I can't do that. I gotta go to the gym when I go.
Yeah.
I gotta go to the gym this morning. I'm gonna be late. Like, you're just gonna have to deal with it. And now I'm a little bit more lenient in my factor, but now I'm back on my morning game. So that's good. That's good. But it's interesting to see how that shit plays out. So that's what that means to me is like discipline and consistency is the biggest things that you can use for your benefit.
Yeah.
Like going back to that game of like, doesn't matter if you don't want to do it. And it doesn't actually matter if it's a good one.
Yeah.
What matters is that you show up
Yeah.
and you do the 100 reps,
Mm-hmm.
right? It doesn't matter how you get them done, if they're in fives or if they're in 100, doesn't matter. Do the work so that you don't have to deal with it tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's what that means to me.
You know what's funny, bro? Like that example you gave about the gym, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was literally this was Thursday after like, I had to kind of sum it up. There was 5 things I needed to do, but there was like an urgent request that had to happen for our senior vice president where I had to like get some information for a presentation that my predecessor did. And mind you, I don't know where he got numbers from, how he got the information, whatever. So, long story short, I spent the whole day, mind you, I had 5 things I needed to do. I spent the whole day trying to find this presentation that he needed. And I still wasn't able to find it. So I remember after I just had enough of work, I left. I literally sat in the parking lot. And so my you know Lacosta, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Lacosta called me. And we were just catching up. He's like, bro, hey, what's going on, bro? I'm like, man, I just I just felt like I wasted a day. He's like, what you mean? I was like, bro, I legit need to do 5 things that were important to me. They didn't really have a deadline, but they're important to me. I need to get them done. And I didn't get them done because I had to go on this wild goose chase to try to find information that I don't even know where it's at. And it's funny because as we were talking, we gave that same example about like just our journey through us going to the gym. Like when we both were in Charlotte, similar to you, man, we weren't missing no days. It was, hey, bro, hey, I'll meet you at the gym around 4:40. We were getting to the gym at 4:45. Hey, bro, I'm about to be at the gym 4:45. Boom. Every time we got out, we would text each other, hey, I'm on the way. Like, and then we would work out. Sometimes we might even do 2 workouts in a day. Like, we was so locked in. And then, but it also got to that point, like you said, where like your body starts to break down a little bit. And so then it's funny how the first mindset was, I'm not missing no days. I don't care. Like you said, hey, I'm just gonna be a little late for work, but I got to get this gym, this game session in. We went from that to, bro, we probably need to rest a little bit, bro. We've been going too hard, like my body's hurting now. So then next thing you know, it went from every day to, maybe 4 or 5 times a week, give yourself 2 days to rest. And then the next phase of this journey was like, you know what, man? Like, we didn't hit our goals for, what we like. Because in phase 2, like, we were still hitting it hard, but we were more focused on like trying to hit a certain number with squat, bench, and deadlift. So once we hit those numbers, the next phase of this was like, bro, we already done hit our goals, man, for squat, bench, and deadlift, man. So it's now the workouts are just more like functional, more. But we're gonna prioritize rest. So then I'm just speaking for me at this point. Go from every day to 4 to 5 times a day. Now I'm going 3 times a day. And then before I had messed up my back to deadlift, all those 2 months before I did that deadlift, I probably worked out 5 or 6 times.
That's crazy.
Like, it's just it's like to your point, it's crazy how like you just go from I'm all in, no excuses, and then now you're like, hey, you know what? I already hit what I need to hit. I'm just more training for functionality.
Yeah.
And so like we were both talking about that, and I had told him like how we got from point A to point D. And he's like, bro, that's so true, bro. Like he's like, man, I remember when I was, we weren't missing no days. The workouts were crazy. Like we were getting insane pump. Like we were, burning out, like to failure, almost every exercise, like, and then we just stopped. And so then like now, like after we had talked about that, it's like I told Acosta, I was like, bro, I think what we one, I'm glad we had this talk, but two, it's like what I've realized is I need to get back to just like that no excuse, like, hey, let's just go hard. Now, if there's time where I need to rest, then I take that rest. But like you said, like, but I gotta go back to like almost like 0 to 100.
Yeah.
And I feel like for me, I am wired like that. I just I don't have a gray area for some reason. I've tried to be like balanced and okay, I'm gonna do four days and then 4 days and then the rest, 3 days I'm gonna rest, 5 days and then 2 days. I was telling Costa, I'm like, I got to find a schedule where I can string a full week of going to the gym.
Bro, and so like the idea that I've gotten to is with this example,
Yeah,
it's about just getting there,
yeah,
and it's the days that the rest days,
yeah.
and like just run the cardio game.
That's crazy.
Like,
That's exactly what me and Acosta was talking
but
about,
that's
bro.
it because all
Yeah,
you got to do is like, okay, well, I went yesterday. I'm still going. Like nothing's changing.
yeah,
I'm at the gym. This is my routine, and
right,
then you rock and roll.
right.
There cannot be that exception of like
I'll do
I
nothing.
I don't do nothing.
Right.
And I gotta be physically active.
Yeah.
Period. Point
Period.
blank.
Yeah, yeah,
There's
yeah,
and that applies across the board. Is
yeah, bro.
like the guys are like, oh, some days I don't make my calls. I'm like, how?
Right,
Because if I come here and I don't make a single call, bro, tomorrow I'm not making calls tomorrow.
right.
There can't be a lapse.
It can't. And it's funny, bro. Like this week, I realized that I'm like, bro, I can't lapse.
Mm-hmm.
I can't afford to do that because, and I also think like that's the dangers of comfort. You know what I'm saying? Like because when you do lapse and you don't do anything, you're like, oh man, it feels good. I'm not doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
My body's recovering. I'm
It's
getting the
that
rest.
ego game,
Yeah,
bro.
and I like how he said like pleasure is a trap.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you get caught up in that life of like you're just always seeking the pleasure or like
Yeah.
that dopamine, a quick dopamine hit, you can get addicted to that. Like,
Yeah.
and I think in our examples with the gym, we were going hard, but those rest days, like we weren't doing anything, and then we got so like, oh man, this feels good. How can I? Now you're starting to. You're really playing yourself because like now now I'm gonna say playing and compromising yourself because of the fact that you felt that one day you did rest. Now you're trying to figure out how can I get the pleasure from this rest while
Mm-hmm.
still trying to get back to this like you know, grinding state,
Yeah.
right? And so now you're sitting there like, okay, well, I can work out 4 days and then, next 2 days I don't do
Yeah.
nothing. But then it's crazy how it starts like that, but then it kind of vice versa switches where now you're resting more than you're hitting the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's so crazy how we both had that same like example because like that is the dangers of comfort. Like
Yeah.
he's I mean, I was just even listening to him, I could tell like he probably had like an
Yeah. He
addiction,
definitely had an addiction of
addiction,
some sort.
and so
But he also had a tattoo on his face.
yeah. So
Usually a tattoo sign.
yeah. He seems it seems like he's been through some stuff. Um, and so like even just for like his example where he was talking about, I was vaping, smoking, nicotine, and now and he's come to this realization and made this video. It's like, you can apply that. He had a specific example with addiction. We had our specific example with the gym, but that applies to
Yeah.
all aspects of life, man. It's just like when you're even the Amazon example you gave, where it's like you think you have this minor inconvenience, and so
Mhm.
you like, I wonder if they have some on Amazon that can fix that. You
Mhm.
look it up. Oh, it's same day delivery. Boop.
Yep.
Don't even think they didn't even look at the price.
Bro,
You might have like
Bro.
glanced it, but you didn't really analyze like what this costs. Like you didn't analyze like, do I really need this? Like you just saw same day delivery.
Mhm.
And it's funny how even on the Amazon, it's like in bold.
Yeah.
Hey, oh, if you're a Prime member, same day delivery. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's funny how when you're seeking a pleasure, things become mindless.
Mhm.
Like you don't even think, you don't really sit there and analyze like, do I need this? Or
Until after the fact.
that's why hindsight's 2020.
Bro, bro, there was a point I was gonna go into this.
Yeah.
Man, I don't want it to sound, I don't want it to come off crazy or dumb or
All right.
bro,
Okay.
no computer.
Oh.
Bro, bro, I'm not done, bro.
Oh
No,
man.
okay.
Hey, let me hear it. Let me hear it. Oh weak.
Uh,
Let me hear it. Oh
um, I bought I bought this plate, bro. I bought this plate that has ridges on it,
uh-huh.
so you can shred garlic. Ask me how many times I shred or mince garlic, bro. Ask me. Ask me how many times I do that in a week.
He tells you do that.
Ow.
Oh gosh, that is hilarious, bro. Oh
You see that
gosh.
monitor, bro?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Um,
Uh,
it got out of hand. This is a week, bro.
oh wait.
This is a week.
I'm telling you, man.
Last week, I deleted my truck. You know how much that is?
Uh-huh.
We're not going into it, bro. And I was just like, just being stupid. And I was like, hold the fuck up.
Right, bro. Right,
I
right.
was like, bro, there's so much I could have done.
Uh-huh.
So much I could have done.
Yeah. And it's honestly scary, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's funny now because it's like this example, right? It's not now. Imagine if like if we were talking about like you were experimenting with drugs or
Right,
something.
right.
Because that's
Because now it's not funny.
it's not funny.
Bro, bro,
It's
bro,
not funny no more.
this is 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And I went on a damn bender.
Bender.
I went on a bender.
Technology.
Just dude, you know what?
Yeah.
One of my guys was like, hey man, I need a new computer. And I was like, all right, cool. You buy my old one for this amount of money, and I'll buy me a new one.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yep.
And I was like, and that was the snowball.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, you know what? I told myself, you know, I'm gonna wait until I get to this point, then I'm gonna buy me a watch.
Yep.
Just something that I every day I wear it, boom, boom.
Yeah. And that's a nice,
Bro.
Yeah.
And that's why I pulled it out. I was just like, this is perfect. This is everything I need it to be.
Right.
But I was like, man, I went to lunch with one of my buddies the other day. One of my, he's in real estate, like my mentor.
Yeah.
He wasn't flexing on me by any means, but he was just like, it was just on his wrist. And I was like, I told myself I was going to do that one day.
Uh-huh.
And then I told myself, no, I don't need it.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I'm at a point now where I'm like, I can buy that thing,
Yeah.
but I can't buy exactly what I want.
Right.
So whatever, I'm just not going to do it until I can actually spend the
Buy
money.
exactly what you want to buy. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but I have been wanting this. It makes sense. Boom. And I was like, what is going on? And then when that dish came in, it came in late.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was upset a little bit. I was like, man, it took this thing 2 weeks to get here. And I was like, hold up, bro.
Yeah, man.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And that's a perfect example of like, bro, if this would have been alcohol, I would have been on a bender for 2 weeks.
Mm, mm,
Now, thank goodness I have enough self-awareness to understand that that's not a good idea, but
right.
the idea behind it is still the exact same.
Yeah, the concept behind it is just the means of you doing it is different, but the concept is like you said, like you just went on like a bender,
Yeah.
or just a spinning blender,
Yeah.
you know,
And
like it's
with that, my granddad used to say this all the time. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. He used to say
wise
that
man.
all the time. We were just fishing,
Yeah,
right?
man, them some the best life lessons when you fish.
Like we were just fishing, man. He was just like, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be like, Dad, I'm thinking about this and that. Just because you can
Don't mean you
doesn't
should.
mean you should.
Yeah,
And I was like, at the time, I never really paid attention to it.
like it's okay. Granddad
Mhm.
just talking. Yeah,
And just being an old head.
right.
But he wasn't. And it makes so much sense. And I've applied that to other things, but bro, I've got not 13. I got like 4 or 5 things in my Amazon cart because I stopped myself.
Mm-hmm.
I told my mom, like, bro, I'm not spending any money until I get my Amazon gift card
Mm-hmm.
from the company. As soon as that company sends me that and it comes in, I'm only going to spend
I'm
what's on that
using
card.
that $25 and that's
Right,
it.
and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, bro, one of my guys was like, he was saying something the other day, and he said something like, "Oh, it was close enough," and I was like, "Close enough?" Hand grenades and horseshoes and hand grenades. And I came back to mom and like, I need to buy a hand grenade for my office, bro. That's what happened. I put it in my cart, and I was like, "Time out, time out.
I don't even need this.
I don't need this paperweight." You get what I'm saying? So it's like just those things, man. Just being self-aware in that aspect, and we talk about that a lot. And then also not letting your ego be the accomplice,
Yeah,
right? That because it'll be an accomplice in anything you want to do.
yeah.
Oh, bro, you need to rest, bro. Your
Bro, you've
biceps
been
sore,
going, you've been
bro.
going hard, bro.
So
You've been
hard.
doing
And it's
good.
all those mental thoughts, right?
Right.
But that ego will play into immediate gratification all day, every day.
Yeah, man. It's
You're wrong, I'm right.
right. It's it's just crazy how, and he even said it in the clip where pleasures can unravel your life
Mm-hmm.
if you don't have a discipline with those pleasures. And when he said that, like even and not to even downplay like your spending blender, but think about it where like that, even though we laughed about it, but you think about there are people who do like all that what they call it, retail therapy and all
Mm-hmm.
that, like
Go bankrupt.
go bankrupt. They
They can't pay their house mortgage because of it.
can't pay
Like
bills.
whatever the situation, like that shit
Yeah,
can get real bad. And
yeah.
like you've got to have that self-awareness.
Have to. You have to, because listen,
Bro, that
like
was a week and a half.
yeah, and it happened
So fast.
so fast. And that's the I said in a previous episode, I think it was our second episode where I
Mhm.
was like, my theory is I don't think we're meant to have everything we want.
Mhm.
And now that we're doing this episode is the reason why I said that in the second episode is because that stuff can happen. And even more on a serious note, again, I gave an example in the second episode where if you're a celebrity and you have all the money in the world, resources and power, now it can lead you down a very dark path to where now you're trying to create the environment where you can get what you want. Now you already control the internal. Now you're trying to control the external so it can feed into the internal,
Mhm.
so you can get what you want.
Mhm.
I think that's the dangerous part when you're trying to control the environment, which it's not meant for us to have control of.
Yeah.
But when you're going through the means of trying to control your environment to achieve something that you want, it can unravel your life.
You ready for this?
Lay it on me.
After all of this week,
Mm-hmm.
yesterday, my brain was like, you need to improve your gym a little bit. You know, you need to reorganize the gym. You need to get everything situated.
Mm-hmm. Reprioritize.
You know what was happening, right? I need a cycle. I need, I need some more weights,
It's crazy.
bro.
Crazy, bro.
I need to paint.
Crazy.
I need to paint. Need to reorganize.
Crazy, bro.
Trying to create
Trying to
this
create, bro.
problem.
You're trying to set yourself up with the environment. You're essentially overcorrecting yourself.
Bro, I need to put padding down, right?
Right.
Because you
Right.
can't, I can't be on my knees and or whatever
Right.
on concrete,
Right.
even though I already have pads. I need pads to go across the entire floor.
Yeah. Yeah. You're trying to create this environment where it's like, now I need these things so I can get back to what I need to get back to.
Yeah. I'm probably still gonna paint.
Yeah.
I'm probably still gonna paint. I'm just gonna hold off on this cycle. Probably still gonna
Oh,
paint, bro.
it's great, and you don't even realize like you're still having the issue. You're still contributing to your main problem. You're spending too much money. Now you're trying to spend money on this shifted mindset,
Yeah.
but you haven't corrected the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to spend money to stop spending money. But it's crazy how your mind can play tricks on you, bro.
Yeah.
Like just how you just stated, like I need to have new cycle, new weights, da da da. I need to create this environment where like I know if I get these things, I won't get out of pocket again. But it's just like how me and Lacoste was talking. It's like, bro, just go to the gym. Like like we're overcomplicating this issue here. Like, and what like me and Lacoste was getting to the root, like to what we the conclusion we got to was like, it's like, bro, just get to the gym. Like, you don't need to have this expectation of like every time I'm in there, I got the right stuff on, I got all my gear. I might just bought me some fresh lifting shoes. This game session's about to be great. Because a lot, you might have a great lift. Sometimes you don't. But don't let the days that you don't have a great lift kill the momentum that you built as far as like consistently going to the gym. Like, and even I had to catch myself where like I was switching gyms. Oh yeah, this gym don't have this, and this. I'm gonna go to this gym. Oh well, this gym. Well, now I'm at this gym, but this gym don't have this. I'm gonna go to this gym.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, dog, you doing more switching than actually working out in those gyms. You come out with excuses like, well, this gym don't have, okay, this gym don't have treadmills. They just got free weights, so I can't do my cardio. It's like, bro,
There's some steps outside, bro.
go run. Go to jujitsu. Bro, I had to really just sit back and like even this gym I'm at now, like it's more of like, free weights and all that, don't really have a lot of machines. And I caught myself going down that hole like, man, they had a treadmill or somewhere I could just do like some simple cardio. That'd be great. And then I almost got to the point where I was going to switch and go to another gym.
Yeah.
But it's like, bro, no, you need to stick to this gym and you need to create another avenue as far as getting the cardio that you need.
Yeah.
Whether that's like just going for a run, or buying a jump rope and jump rope at the gym that you're at.
Put it in your bag.
Put it in your bag. And once I had that realization, you know what I did?
Bought the jump rope.
Went to Dick's Sporting Goods, which is right down the street. Dick's Sporting Goods, bought a jump rope. Now, for my cardio outside jiu-jitsu, I just jump rope.
Yeah.
So it's again, it's crazy that we sometimes get into this trap that, okay, I need all of these things before I can do this one thing.
Mhm.
And the one thing could be so simple.
Mhm.
Just focusing on the gym. I need a gym that has everything before I go to it.
Mhm.
It's like, no, just go to the gym.
Right.
And then figure out, okay, if they don't have this particular machine, figure out what free weight exercises can mimic the muscle group that this machine targets.
Mhm.
And I like the one thing that stuck out to me in that clip also was he was saying how when you're focused on creating, you don't see people like he was saying when you're in like a consuming mindset, you don't see people like getting when people are in consuming mindset, people get addicted to just consuming. But when you're trying to create, I feel like it's harder. I'll say it's harder to get addicted at first because of the fact that it feels like hell in that process of trying to create something. Like if you're trying to create a new life for yourself, where it's like I'm trying to eat better, go to the gym, etc. Like it's going to feel like hell because of the fact that one, you're trying to you're trying to set this consistent schedule. Like, okay, I'm going to the gym every day. As far as eating healthy, what does that mean? You know, don't eat after a certain day, after a certain time, or don't eat. Stay off the candy, stay off the all the unhealthy processed shit. Like, why do you think fasting is such a hard thing to do? You're literally not eating anything.
Yeah.
But if you do your research, it's one of the best things you can do as far as a reset for your body and losing weight or intermittent fasting. Like those things are not comfortable.
Yeah.
But it's funny how when you're in that phase of creating and you start to build the momentum and you're getting through that quote unquote hell, and then you get that little piece of heaven, I think that's a crucial stage as well, because it's like, oh man, I've been working for a month. Finally got the body I want, or I got I went from 225 on base, now I'm at 250.
Yeah.
That's a crucial stage because either you can
Fall off.
or
stay consistent.
stay consistent. And I feel like, and even the examples we gave, where it's like we built that momentum, we got to a goal, like one of our goals, like that, like you said, that close enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, I got to this. I'm not where I want to be ultimately, but I've accomplished 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
I'm cool.
Yeah.
And so we don't realize, like, bro, you just compromised what you really wanted to achieve. Like that whole watch example you gave. You said, I didn't pull the trigger because, well, at the time I didn't pull the trigger because it wasn't the watch I wanted.
Yeah.
But you said, you know what? Because my desire of wanting a watch, not a particular watch, but wanting a watch, and the watch could symbolize something that I was ultimately looking for with that particular watch that I wanted.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and get it.
Mm-hmm.
So we just played a trick on ourselves.
Yeah.
Now we got this watch that it's a nice watch. Don't get me wrong, it's a nice watch.
Yeah.
And it satisfies the thought of that. It satisfies the thought of, okay, because this is a nice watch, this is a status symbol. But when you look back, it's like, yeah, but it wasn't a watch that I truly wanted.
Yeah.
So we just settled.
Yeah,
because it was a nice watch.
yeah.
So
It wasn't that 1993
three
Rolex.
Rolex, right, right. You just sell it for. It's a nice watch.
Mhm.
It still looks great, but it wasn't what we truly wanted.
Yeah,
And so I think we do that in life in general. Like we set this high goal that's on level 10 and we're doing good and we might get to level 7 and we're like, you know what, I'm cool, man. And,
you know it's crazy.
level 10 ain't
You know it's crazy.
what
If I wouldn't have spent that money for the past week,
you could have got the watch.
I could have bought it.
See what I'm saying? It's crazy, bro.
And it's just dumb, dude. Like that whole concept. So how? Tell me this. How do we? How does? Let's tie a bow on this. Right?
Yeah.
We've been going for about an hour.
Yeah.
Let's tie a bow on it. How does? We've got the three things, right? We've got the three pillars.
Yeah.
How does this apply?
So I'm going to say something that's going to hit all three. in
Yeah, that's
one.
exactly what I was thinking.
Um, don't seek the pleasure. Seek and enjoy the process because, and the reason why I said is because if you enjoy the grind and you enjoy what you're creating and what you're ultimately creating to, like the process, enjoying the process of creating to that thing you're trying to do, you will probably get to that goal or even surpass it. But I think sometimes what can happen is we get more focused on like, man, I want this. Like you said, man, I want this watch, right? And you was working, you was getting to that point, but then what happened? Actually, I'm gonna shift it. I'm gonna shift it. Don't have the shiny object syndrome.
Mm-hmm. This and then this and then
Right.
this and then
Don't
this.
have the shiny object syndrome. And I think with that example you gave with the watch, you had this watch that you wanted, and even if it's not a watch, you had this goal that you wanted.
Yeah.
And so as you're climbing to get to that goal, you start to, you start to get close, right? You're getting close. Like for your example, there's this watch that you want, but you was about to get it, but you said you you know you got there. You were like, and I honestly think maybe that meeting with your realtor could trigger something where it's like, I just need to get a nice watch.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to get a nice watch. I think we got more into the feeling of what I truly wanted. We got more involved with that feeling. Like if we would have got what we wanted, we would have felt this way. And I think we got so focused on just that feeling instead of the actual goal.
Yeah.
So, and that feeling is the shiny object.
Yeah.
So I felt like in your example, when you saw your realtor, you was like, man, I just need to get that watch that kind of gives me that like status symbol type of thing.
Yeah.
And so we got more, instead of focused on what you really wanted, you got more focused on this.
Yeah.
And when you got focused on that feeling that I just need to get something that's going to be like a conversation starter, you settled for something else.
Yeah.
It's a nice watch. It achieves that feeling.
But it doesn't come with the accomplishment. Yeah. 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 I jumped on it. I knew where I was at. Doesn't come with the accomplishment. And so and that was the biggest piece, right? And that's exactly where I wanted to take it as well, is understand your ego, understand what triggers the ego, and what are the things that your brain comes up with to protect you in a short form way, right? Which is I'm right, you're wrong, whatever those things are, or hey, you bro, you can rest right now. Those things that are the simplest form of protecting you without or protecting itself, right? Because your ego is like its own thing, like it's this idea,
Yeah, it's his
right?
own. Yeah,
And
has his own world.
yeah, because it's like, oh, just buy the watch or just do this, whatever. And Zyra had just bought me a watch for Valentine's Day,
Crazy.
and I'm like, which is a really it's super nice and like
Mhm.
it's more of like that classic look, like
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And I it's one of those things that I didn't realize by me doing this that I was going to be somewhat shitting on her in that form, which it didn't process my thought because I was like,
Yeah.
well, this is it's one of those things that um
You got locked into
yeah,
that feeling like this is what I.
yeah, this is where I'm at, this is what I
Right.
want, this is what I need to do.
Right.
And so having the self-awareness, having the ego checks on a regular basis and having that awareness,
Yeah.
having that awareness is going to be applicable to all three things because
Yeah.
your ego is going to, oh, well, you don't need to, do anything spiritual right now. You don't need to do anything physical
Mhm.
because of this reason or because of this reason. And then you don't need to be journaling. Not that big of a deal. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you miss one day, it's okay. You can pick it up tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and then you're busy and you miss it.
Yeah.
And then that's why you got to put things in check. You
Yeah.
got to have those, you got to put those things in check. And like with this, I told myself, I was like, I'm not going to miss anymore because
Yeah.
I'm not going to make it some complicated thing.
Right.
If all I can do is write one sentence, then I'm just writing one sentence and I'm letting that be.
But you're
Yeah.
keeping the process. The
Yeah.
process. You're keeping that
Bro,
consistent.
I was just doing too much. I was
Mhm.
doing too much, dude. I was going to the gym and jujitsu same day, every day, all day. Like work, I was just working until as late as I could possibly work.
Mhm.
Um, just like the physical and I was trying to pack journaling. Do I have three different journals for three different minds? Like,
Right.
bro,
Right. So we gotta.
let's focus on what's important,
Mhm.
and it's the pillars of what they are.
Yeah.
Handle those pillars.
Yeah.
That's it. It didn't have to be complicated. Keep it simple. Stupid is a reason, or is a saying for a reason.
Yeah.
It's that KISS method.
I don't think you mentioned like Z got you a watch,
Mhm.
and then you bought that watch.
Mhm.
I don't think it would have been that bad if you actually got what you wanted.
Mhm.
Because I think if you would have got what you wanted,
Because it comes with something.
you could have said, "Look, babe, this is something I've always wanted. I feel like I've been working, and I finally got to a point where I can buy what I want." I think why it it, it overall compromised you because now you just got something that it's a nice watch, but it's not what you wanted. So
Mhm.
if you would have got the accomplishment, the process is justified.
Yeah.
But when you don't get the accomplishment, it's like, well, wow.
Yeah.
What am I? That's where the doubts like, what am I doing? Like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
And then you get discouraged and then you say, you know what? I'm good.
Yeah.
So
It's being able to pick up on having the self-awareness of what your actions cost.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And having the second thought of like, okay, well, what can I go through or what can I put in place to have those mental checks prior to making those decisions?
Yeah, and the final thing, man, like if you set a goal for yourself, get that goal,
Mhm.
whether it is a watch or whether it is you want to, you want to bench, you want to go from 20, you know, 225 to 350, whatever it is, don't settle for less.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing. And understand this, and it ties to this clip. Understand that goal you set for yourself, the process is going to feel like hell.
But it's gonna build a hell of a lot
It's
of
going to
confidence.
be a hell. I like how you ended that, brother. I like that. You're going through hell, but it's going to be a hell of a lot of confidence
That's
when you
it.
go through it.
That's it.
And it's a reoccurring thing.
Yeah.
And that's how you
that's
get through.
genuinely how you build confidence.
That's it, man.
Is by doing the things that you said you were gonna do.
Just I know I said that was the final thing, but just think about your journey, bro. Look at where you're at. Just think about what you've been through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it was hell.
I don't know if that's still
Well, no,
I don't know.
not hell, but you worked hard to get to where you're at.
Yeah, I'm nowhere where I need to be.
Right. But I'm just saying you're still working to your ultimate goal, but
We'll talk about gratitude on this next one.
I like it. I like it. So, like, share, subscribe. Like I keep saying, and I'm gonna keep saying it over and over until it's time to go home. This is a grassroots type of vibe. We're not investing in too much equipment, whatever. This is just an authentic conversation of two brothers trying to figure out how we can get better with our mind, body, and spirit. Tune into the next episode. See you.